That's 01.
If the technology to catch up with us here, Mr. Chairman. As we talked about at our work session, this is a rezoning request. Property to be rezoned from R6 to RP. It is along the east side of Melody Lane, about halfway between Bay Tree Drive and Blanton Street. This is a little bit south of Bay Tree Road. You may recall a very similar rezoning case back in October by Taylor Biddle, and that was for the property immediately to the south, which is already shown as RP on this map and also the map in the packet. Very, very similar, not identical circumstances. This whole east side of Melody Lane is older homes, some of which have already been converted to professional offices. Same circumstances as the property to the south. There's no specific intended use. Simply the applicant wants the ability to rent the property as either a dwelling or an office. If they do convert the dwelling to an office, the same as with Mr. Biddle's request, they'll have to go through the regular permitting process and site approval process for parking and so forth. The site plan in your packet is very, very conceptual, but it does indicate there's enough room on site to accommodate parking. The building is less than 1,000 square feet, so there's not much parking demand anyway. The applicant is here in the audience. If you have any questions for him, I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have for staff.
Questions for staff?
I just have a question. I notice this is in the charter area as a transition neighborhood, and under that, in fact, you have it in your package. There are some responsibilities there for the governing body. In this case, it would be the city, about providing sidewalk, walking spaces, bicycle places, area, and nothing like that is being done over on that side. Is there any plans for this?
There are plans to do that throughout the city. This is a comprehensive plan issue.
Right.
Where this area falls in the priority of those projects, I do not know. Just like it says in the comp plan, transitional neighborhoods are intended to be encouraged one way or the other.
Right.
There are areas that are kind of caught in between or next to the developing commercial corridors. Sometimes they exhibit a mixture of land uses already where things have intruded into the neighborhood. So the goal of transitional neighborhood character area is to, one, either further the transition along from residential to something non-residential, or the other direction, some put in measures to protect the neighborhood, to keep it from transition. In this particular case, we've got properties facing Melody Lane, which is 4-lane, fairly busy road. Across the street is commercial zoning for the city of Bremerton. This part of the TN character area is not slated for protection as residential, but simply to encourage its transition over to something non-residential. In terms of sidewalks and such, I agree this area definitely needs it. There's a lot of bicycle and pedestrian traffic, and accommodations need to be made for that. Unfortunately, sidewalk budgets are very tight, but they are ongoing. They are in a priority order, and as funds become available, those things get done. Which areas to be done before this first, I do not know.
But,
Engineering department is the keeper of that.
but it is part of the big plan. I mean, we're not going by the plan, and then the other side is.
And I would like to think this area should be fairly high up on the totem pole for that because of the issue in Bremerton and a lot of traffic back and forth.
I'd just like to see it encouraged along. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for staff?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Martin, have you received any opposition, any telephone calls, letters, et cetera?
Yes, sir. We've received no communication about any of your cases tonight.
Okay.
Any other questions? Anyone in the audience would like to speak in favor of this request? In favor? Anyone in the audience wants to speak in favor? I always repeat it twice to make sure you hear it.
I'm in favor.
Anyone in the audience want to speak in opposition? In opposition? All right, Commissioner Spivey.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I make the motion that we follow staff recommendation.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? That's unanimous.